We have our medalists from the male 100 meters, man. We have gold medalist Noah Lyles, silver medalist Kishane Thompson, and Fred Kerley, our bronze medalist. Who has the most upside? Who do we think is going to back up that medal or those medals or even change the color of their medal going into Worlds of next year?
Shoo. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, because you got to take in consideration what is Noah's game plan going next year. Is he going to focus more on the 100, or is he going to go back to his baby, which is the 200? Right? Because if that's the case, I feel like he goes back to his baby in the 200. It's going to slack for his 100. Not saying he won't be a real top competitor for the 100 meters at World Championships, but I think that most of his focus and energy would go back to the 200. For Kishane, I think he has the best uptick right now. And why I say it's because he, leading up from the Jamaican trials through the Olympics, he looked like an unbeatable guy, you know? And getting to Olympics, I think it was a situation that happened to where, your toughest opponent isn't near you and you are only fixated on running against the athletes that are next to you, which you do beat. But that guy on the outside that you were worried about, that you couldn't see, there was a reason why you was worried about it. And he took the gold, right? So I think for him, it's going to be more of a learning curve. But for the physical aspect of things, I think he's ahead of the game right now, for sure. Fred's a dog. You don't know what Fred gonna come with. Fred come out there and be saying, you know what, I'm gonna run the 400 this year and go out there and be one of the top 400 meter runners. So if he sticks into the 100 meters, watching how he progressed this season with the lack of traditional training that he had, like, he gonna be a monster. He ended the season with a 981, and that wasn't with a lot of heavy speed training, a lot of conditioning like he normally would do, and him with a flawed race. Even he said it. He had a flawed race. So it's looking like it's going to be a big clash for the World Championships. I don't think it's going to be a clear favorite as of right now. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
So I'm gonna throw a little monkey wrench in there, man. Who you think gonna be the newcomer? There's always a newcomer that may throw it off. It could be a newcomer from that sprint group, or it could be a new riser from either the collegiate scene or somebody who was just disappointed from the semifinal that rise from the Olympics. Like, they just was that disappointed. They go into their fall season and they just dig deep.
I think the newcomer that is going to be a little more consistent this season, who kind of fell off towards the end of the season, is actually going to be Courtney Lindsay. I think because he started the season nice. He started off with a 1971, and then he had a pretty good 100. His relay races were very nice, very clean, had good starts, and he seemed like the kind of person that was primed. We had him picked. I think I at least had him picked to be able to make, the Olympic team. So not making Olympic team was actually a shock for me in a way. So I think next year he's going to be a little more acclimated to what his system is over there at Star Athletics. We're going to see a different kind of runner. I think he's got a lot more confidence. He sees what the game is, how track and field set up on a European and an international platform. So I think he's going to be more comfortable in that way.
I definitely think you're right on Noah. I think Noah goes back to the 200. He's going to want to defend that title. You know what I mean? He says, or his mom said before, that that's his wife, right? And that's his baby. He's going to go back to the 200 and try to conquer that 200 and win that 200 to prove his dominance in that event, which is the event he loves. I don't think he's going to slack off in the 100, but I think the person who you said, I definitely agree with the second, Kishane. I mean, you watch Kishane the year before, he ended the season with 985. He didn't continue to run this year. I don't know what were the issues. There were rumors that he was injured, but he would have ended his season around 979. You know what I mean? 297s that he would have clipped off in the year. Meaning, rolling into this year, I think he has a lot more experience, especially on a bigger stage. It could prove for him not being that gold medalist to come into his real dominance. You know what I mean? I can see him being a real dominant sprinter, like somebody to be reckoned with, based on how he ran this year and the previous year before. But now everybody's looking at him. How does he how does he adapt with all the eyes on him now? Like everybody's looking at Kishane. You know what I mean? It's easy when nobody is expecting you to do much, but now there's going to be a high expectation from himself, from his coaches, and from Jamaica, as we so know.
So
Boogeyman.
So I got a question though. I'll let you finish. Go ahead. Hit me with the boogeyman.
Boogeyman Fred. Boogeyman Fred. I think Fred has the most to not really care about, because he's been a gold medalist at the World Championship before. It's something that he's not foreign to. He's ran 9.76 before. He's ran 9.7 a few times. And he says that his ankle is feeling a lot better. Him running 1981 in the 200, that is really, really, really impressive for Fred going into the next year. You know what I mean? He seems to have his confidence back. So, yeah, we'll see. Now, as far as newcomers, I don't see a newcomer, but I see someone of old possibly that can make that upset, and that's Akani Simbine. You know what I mean? I think Simbine, he could upset the podium this time. You know what I mean? He ran a national record. I think he's tied at that fourth place finish. I think he talks to his coach, or he goes a little bit deeper, and he's going to figure out on how to make the medal stand this time.
So that gives me two questions now. All right. So with Simbine, we know that Simbine's South African athlete, right? So that means his season is different from our season.
100%.
If he doesn't already, do you think it's in his best favor to maybe back his season up to where it's aligning to our traditional season, which really the world is on? What are your thoughts on that? Because it seems like we get the best of Simbine maybe a month leading up to whatever championship, and then we want to see that same Simbine peak and show that same effort at the championship. But it seems like I've seen that through the season where it's like he has that shot, he drops a really hot time, really good time, but it's like almost a couple of weeks before he needed it, like at a championship. What's your thoughts?
I think he does. I think he's going to do a little bit more of a change to try to sustain those faster times later in the year. I think it won't be as important for him to win his national trials. Like, it's going to just be in his interest to make the team. So if he gets second and make the team, he's fine with that. You know what I mean? He'll just train through it, go through his trials, because I think their trials is something like maybe February or March or something like that. It's like super early.
Yeah.
Like, it's something way early. Just make the team, and then he'll continue with his season. You know what I mean? I think that'll be in his best interest. So even if he doesn't win, it wouldn't matter to him, because he wins mostly all the time. But that national champion won't matter to him as more, because now the medal stand, it means more. You know, everybody's not going to remember the national champion of South Africa. They'll remember if he's a gold, silver, or bronze medalist for South Africa.
Very true. I get that.